Welcome back, everyone. I wanted to do a garden tour slash food growing tour update video. We get a few questions about it, and while we're working on our power shed, we still need a little bit of time to get that one wrapped up and ready to go. So this is going to be another sort of filler video while we're working on that, but I know a lot of people are interested in what we're growing, so I thought I would start over here by the raspberries. Raspberries are doing awesome this year. They're a little bit toasted from the heat wave. We tried to water them as much as we could, but it's just been so hot here that they were not very happy. I've also got gooseberries over here, and I think I only saw one berry growing on the plant, so it did not do good this year. It is getting a little bit crowded out from the raspberries, but yeah, maybe next year it'll do better once it's a little bit more established. And then I've also got boysenberries and a thornless blackberry over there. I can't remember which is which. One of them has really nice berries on it, and then the other one has kind of like dried up berries. So I think it was also affected by the heat wave. But they're not quite ready yet for the good berries, so hopefully soon I'll be able to try, and maybe then I'll know what they are. But I've been getting a ton of raspberries, which is good because those are my favorite berries. So they're still a little bit ripening, and I'll get to have them for a little bit longer, which is good. And then we also put our zucchinis in here so that they didn't crowd out the rest of the main garden. So we've gotten 2 zucchinis, and there's quite a few little ones starting, but I think I need to fertilize because we're getting a little bit of blossom rot again. We seem to get it every year, so yeah, I'll put some fertilizer down there, and then we should have tons of zucchinis coming in. Yeah, so that wraps up this area. I've got this fence up because the dogs were eating all of my raspberries last year, so this is keeping them out. Trying to keep some of the chickens out because I've got a few that escape, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that fencing down because it doesn't look very nice, but it serves a purpose. And then over here, if you remember our garden planting video, I just threw all of the herb seeds I had. They were kind of getting old, and I wanted to just get them in the ground in case they still were good. So I planted all of the herbs that you can think of here, and what came up was parsley and some cilantro, which is good. I really like parsley, so I'm happy to have that. The cilantro seems to go to seed here really quickly, so I haven't gotten a lot of that, but otherwise it's doing pretty good. There's quite a few weeds in there, but there's just weeds everywhere here. They are taking over. So I did put straw down in the garden to try to suppress it a little bit, but I think it's kind of composted a fair bit, so it's just growing weeds again. But we tried. Before I go in the main garden, I've just got the wildfire flower patch in front of the barn, and I actually planted some nasturtium here, so these are coming in really well, and I'm not getting a whole lot of flowers out of them, but I still like to eat the greens, so those are a nice thing to add to salads. And then the wildflowers are just going crazy in here. Getting a lot of these daisies, which is nice. And then these ones have not flowered yet, and I can't remember what the flowers look like, but these kind of taller ones have taken over. And then we've got the catnip as well over there. And so over here we've got the tomatoes, which have absolutely exploded since the heat wave. They really loved that heat, and got quite a few big tomatoes coming in, so we're gonna have lots in the next few weeks, I think. I've got some cherry tomatoes over on that side as well. So they are a little bit smaller because they're kind of shaded from the corn, but I am seeing some flowers there. So I think that will come in soon. Over here, I planted some jalapenos. I think I bought these kind of late in the season from the greenhouse and they were on sale or something. So those have really exploded. I've got quite a few other peppers, but they're pretty small. And I'm noticing blossom rot with them as well. I did fertilize the garden early on, but maybe it needs a little bit more. And then we've got marigolds for pest and sort of insect control, as well as just making everything look nice. We have tons of volunteer tomatoes. I've pulled tons out already, but they just keep popping up, and there's some flowers and fruiting starting on this one, so it made the cut. But other than that, I've got herbs back here. There's mint, lemon balm, a couple different oreganos, sage, and then at the back we have arugula. And actually one thing I noticed that worked well this year was putting the lettuce with the arugula, and then that arugula just kind of shaded out the lettuce, so it's lasted a lot longer for us. It actually, I don't even think it bolted in the heat wave, which was nice. And then we've got two types of arugula. I don't know what the first one is, but the second one is wild Italian, which we've been trying to get rid of for years because we planted the seeds and it just went to seed, and then it's just taking over everything. It's really good arugula, but it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. So yeah, that battle will continue on. So this is that arugula. It is huge. And there's a few weeds in there, but yeah, it's taken over this spot. I can't even believe how big it is. In the back as well, I've got onions. I'm not sure if they're shallots or the Egyptian walking onions that Divine from Off Grid with Philip and Divine sent to me. I didn't keep track of where I planted them, and one of them has died completely and one of them is doing well. Divine did say that I would have these onions forever, so I feel like these might be the ones that she sent me, which is good. I like if they kind of take over and we will always have them coming back every year. That's always nice. And so over here, I was reading that corn, squash, and beans are good companion plants because the beans will climb up the corn and squash kind of shades everything out on the bottom and keeps it moist. But the corn didn't grow fast enough, so now all the beans are on the ground and I didn't get a trellis up in time. So I don't think I'll do that again without a better trellis system. But yeah, there's a few beans coming in. It's just kind of hard to get to them because there are so many weeds in here. I don't want to pull too hard and kind of wreck anything. I've been finding we have a ton of nightshade, which produces a poisonous berry. So this is the nightshade. I'd say it kind of looks like potato leaves a little bit. And then it comes up with these little blueberries, which aren't good for you. So I try to pull it out, but it's just everywhere this year. I can't even believe how bad it is. And then the other thing is we have a ground squirrel that's moved in and it's been chewing on all the corn stalks. So we're losing quite a few of the corn, even though they're starting to produce some fruit. But I'm trying to get the dogs to chase the ground squirrel out, and they seem to be giving up on that battle too easily. So it's got to go, though. I saw it starting to burrow into the chicken coop, which is not good. It's going to be eating the chicken food. So we might have to set a trap out for that. And over here, I've got beets, and it looks like there's quite a few that are starting to get ready. So I'm going to have to pick those pretty soon. I'm really excited for that because I did a lot of golden beets, which are my favorite. And I did not thin them out, so we'll have to see how that goes. But they're actually doing really good this year, which is surprising. And then we've got this weed here. It's called purslane, I think. And it's also everywhere. More nightshade. I can't believe how much the weeds are growing this year, even though I put the straw down. When we moved the goats out, I took all of the straw from their pen in the chicken coop barn and put it down, and so many weeds. I also did plant some squash and some cucumbers, but none of those have done any good. Unfortunately, I was really hoping to get some butternut squash to keep for a long time, but they just didn't really take here, and it's too bad. So I've got more jalapenos and some other hot peppers. I'm not sure what they are. These were all just given to me. And then zinnias, of course. You got to have flowers in the garden just to beautify it and attract in lots of bees. Seems like there's a lot of bees around, so that's always good. More arugula, more tomatoes behind me here that are not supposed to be there. And then we've also got some Swiss chard back there. This whole section here is carrots, and they don't seem to be doing amazingly. I did actually try to space them out properly this year, but I don't know if our sprinkler is getting this area very well, so they don't seem to be doing so good, unfortunately, because I really wanted a lot of carrots as well. But we'll just keep watching them, and I think I'm gonna connect a different sprinkler to hit this area a little bit more. But then again, we've got this nightshade just going crazy. Arugula, plantain. These are the nightshade berries, so they will turn blue. It's no good. And then down below, outside of the fence, we have our potatoes, which I think are getting close. There was a few different varieties, and I didn't keep track of them, of course. So those, seems like most of them are kind of falling over and ready to be harvested, and the rest of them are not quite ready yet. So we'll just keep watching them and watering them and all that. And yeah, so that concludes the garden portion of the tour, and then we'll go over to the meat birds and I'll show you that setup. The meat birds have grown a lot, so let's go check them out. So we had all of our wildflowers and grass seeds planted on this hill. This section didn't do very good because the dogs would like to play there, but it's getting a little dried out now. But we're getting quite a few flowers in there. There's even some sunflowers that seemed odd that they were in the wildflower mix, but there they are. So got one flower coming up. Quite a few weeds in there, and then these ones are gonna flower soon as well. But I don't remember what the flower looked like. So yeah, these guys are doing pretty good because they're getting a bit of water from when we keep the grass alive. And then there's some poppies. But the other spot by the roses is not doing very good because it doesn't get a lot of water. So those flowers have kind of dried up and died off. I'm hoping they seeded a little bit. The roses have not been happy here at all, just because there isn't really any nutrition in this soil. It's just kind of that like forest soil. It wasn't duff or anything, it's just everything underneath the nutrient dense part. So yeah, things are not very happy over here. We'll see what happens with that, but it's also been pretty dry. So over here we have the poultry netting around the meat birds. Just while we were away for a few days, we had the dogs with us, but our neighbor was keeping an eye on all of the animals, and so we put this electric fence up. But we've got hens in one chicken tractor and then roosters in the other one, and that's working pretty well for us. I really like it. Just having 50 birds in this is supposed to be big enough from the Salatin method for the 50 birds, but it felt really squished in there and we didn't really like it. So it's nice having them separated. And then I've also moved in the Orpington roosters. So they're eating the broiler feed as well, and I'm hoping that's going to fatten them up a little bit. But these guys are getting pretty big now. Hi! It's just a shame those beautiful boys are going to get eaten because they are very nice looking, but it's very hard to get rid of roosters around here. If we give them away, someone else is going to be eating them. And I paid like $15 for those hatching eggs. So I'm gonna eat them. And then we have the hens in here. There's a couple roosters that snuck in. They look like hens when we pulled them out, but they're in this one and it's working pretty well. And then another thing that we don't really show on our channel because it's up at our neighbor's house is we have a pig. So he has the pig pen. We do the chickens, and then he'll take half of these birds. We'll take our pig, and we kind of share the work that way, which is really nice way to work. So I don't have any footage of that because I haven't been up there. You know, last summer I got a little bit because he was working away and we were helping out with that, but we haven't needed to do that this year. So no footage of the pig, but I think it's getting pretty big and we're hoping to have it butchered pretty soon. We tried to line it up with the fall butcher so that it can hang outside overnight when it's colder, but they're growing really fast this year. So I'm actually noticing that with the chickens. It seems like they're really big already. And it's kind of strange because I was expecting to butcher these in late September, but they're already looking pretty big. So, and I have a ton of feed left. So yeah, we'll see. We'll have to keep growing them, I guess, and see how big they can get. But that is it for the food growing tour update on our off-grid property. I've been doing this for a few years now, so I feel like we're getting a little bit better. Certainly with the meat part. The garden could use some more lessons, I think. But the only way to learn is to just get your hands dirty and do it. So anyways, I'm going to wrap up the video here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, say hi down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.